Good morning, ladies. It is a wonderful day, isn't it? Remember what we're doing. We are changing the face of the female experience one day at a time, one woman at a time, one experience at a time, one challenge at a time. So today we're going to look at the idea and the experience that women have with this idea of productivity. We were talking the last couple of days about the 80-20 principle. We've been talking about multitasking. We've been talking about how invalid multitasking is. And what I want you guys to think about, so much of the struggles that I hear women talk about now is they talk about primarily how stressed out they are because they can't be productive enough. They start their day with this rolling, frantic, urgent feeling inside telling them that they must do this, and this, and they feel panicky throughout the day. Now, there are people who do not feel that, but I'm talking about as an overall experience. I find that women experience this a lot. So it could be a replacement for some other type of worry. If we're not having a worry about a child or about some other mini crisis or a large crisis, women will find if their bodies are in tune with and addicted to worry, they will find stress and worry sometimes in busyness, sometimes in a sense that they're not getting everything done that they need to get done. Yesterday, we talked about those most important tasks and to hone in on them. So you're doing that again today. That's not even your challenge. It's your lifestyle. That every day you're going to make a decision about what's most important to you and what mostly would bother you if you didn't complete it that day, and what mostly would make you feel fantastic if you did. And it could be the littlest thing. If you start to kind of simplify your life, you will have a exponential increase in productivity. And that's my challenge for you. I want you to write down all the minutia in your day that is gobbling up your time and wasting your time. A lot of people have time wasted. We know it's on the stinking phone, because bottom line is that every time we're turning to that phone and just scrolling, our mind is becoming numbed out and it is taking us away from simple things. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do. One is I want you to write down and notice throughout your whole 24 hours. I hope you have your book. And when you start to notice yourself drifting into scattering, going here and there and there and there and panicking, and I'm going to do this and no, I'm going to do that. A lot of the lack of productivity has to do with indecision, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. But today we're talking about what is the minutia? What is all the extra bull that you're adding in your day that doesn't need to be? Most things that we do during the day don't need to be done, by the way. So what I want you to do is write the minutia. Then what you're going to do is, remember, you're going to have your most important tasks, your 3, okay? Then what you're going to do is anything, which I told you before, anything you start to do, you do not take your hand off of it until it's done. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you start out to drive to CVS and you realize that, you know what, I don't want to go there now because I should do some other thing. You're going to train yourself to be disciplined, to follow through and complete tasks and accomplish them, and that's it. So that is your job for today. What I want you to understand is when you're on one task, this is your job. You will not, under any circumstance, think about, obsess about, worry about some other task you have to do. When you're with one task, one interaction, one loving moment, you will not worry about and stress over that you should be somewhere else. The classic experience that I find with women is that they're always feeling that they should be doing, saying, being, acting, working on something else. So what they're doing is never good enough. What they're doing is never the right thing that they should be doing. Let me tell you something. We're changing that. You women here are not going to live that way anymore, and you don't have to. So whatever you start, you stay with. You want staying power. I love Jim Rohn. He's like my daddy mentor. But anyhow, Jim Rohn says, how come people don't stay anymore? Like at baseball games, when the game is, their team is losing and it's the seventh inning, they leave. And he said, how come people don't stay? When they start something, they don't stay with it. This is one of the reasons also, as a piggyback, this is one of the reasons why people don't succeed in life. Because they quit 3 feet before the gold. They don't stay at a business or whatever it could be. An idea that they had that they thought would be great. Some sort of, mission or ministry. They don't stay with it and allow it to gain momentum. I see that with people who want to change their own lives. They'll start working on something and then it's like, oh, this is boring. I think I'll stop. Don't quit before the miracle happens, for God's sakes. Now, you don't know the power of staying with your dishes until they're done. You don't know the power of staying with, you've committed 25 minutes that you're going to spend with your son, listening to what he's doing with his life today, and you're just going to listen with the only agenda to understand, and you commit to that, and you don't deviate, you don't get off the phone quicker or whatever it is. If you have little kids, this is adding value to that day, and it's creating discipline in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, so that you're not rushing off. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to talk about some really cool other stuff. See you then.